Pleasantville, first requested to me by Harry Frazier and written and directed by Gary Ross, is a 1998 drama film that primarily takes place in a fictional 1950s TV town called Pleasantville. A brother and sister from the real world, played by Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire, find themselves implanted into the perfect TV world known as Pleasantville, where all the residents of the town and everything they do is seemingly perfect. They live in a routine, isolated existence where life is seemingly great. But as the two outsiders enter the town, things begin to change. As the culture of Pleasantville becomes more complex, so do the lives of everyone there. Alright, so Pleasantville. This is a review that I'm actually really excited to deliver to you guys because I really enjoyed the time I spent watching this film. It's one of the experiences that's way more than meets the eye because there's so much that goes into it that's just not what you would expect. And honestly, I had no expectations going into this film because all I knew about it was, two siblings end up in a 1950s TV show. That was it. So to my surprise, Pleasantville offers a story that's fun, it's funny, and at times gets really serious with some thought-provoking commentary that is really insightfully weaved into this story. There's a lot to digest with it, and I feel like once it ended, I was still thinking about what it all meant. I don't generally like political statements in films, but I do tend to like commentary on human nature especially, and things like the human condition and just general life lessons that might be valuable to most people. I think you could spend a really long amount of time thinking about the themes that are present in Pleasantville. But that's exactly what I like about it. It strikes a balance between an engaging film that's enjoyable and thought-provoking content that allows for some serious thought and introspection through the analysis of how characters deal with uncertainty and change in the film. Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire both do a really great job at portraying characters that feel like accurate representations of high school character and high school mindset. David and Jennifer are both searching for their identity, but in different ways. Jennifer is more secure in herself, but is searching for maturation and growth, while David, on the other hand, is less secure in himself and searches more for his personal identity and self-worth a bit more. Through the acting of these personal pursuits, there's a domino effect, and the characters around Pleasantville are exposed to things they've never heard or seen before. Through this exposure, things through the town change, and so do the people in it. What Pleasantville does really well is that it offers up gradual change and growth through both David and Jennifer and the characters from Pleasantville, who in a way operate as blank slates. They're characters who have preconceived notions about how life should be, so when they're exposed to new ideas that either, change their perception in some way or change who they are, they either embrace them or they resist them altogether in order to maintain that status quo. The film also uses color and black and white very effectively to give the film a very distinct visual style. The colors have a narrative significance as well, which, as things and people turn to color, that implies that they're undergoing change in some way, embracing an aspect of life that was otherwise ignored, an aspect that's a key part of their existence and their identity that's otherwise been suppressed. This makes for a great deal of visual intrigue that allows the viewer to engage with the personal growth of each individual character, trying to understand what has led to that change from black and white to color. You could also look at these changes more simply as someone who once viewed the world as black and white, but is now able to accept that there are complexities to life, there's nuance, things that aren't always as simple and definitive as one may think. Like I said, there's so much to think about with Pleasantville, and you could really spend hours talking about it, and I enjoyed that aspect of the film. I think another large part of what makes this movie so successful is how easy it is to connect with the characters. And while David and Jennifer are the two leads, there's plenty of other characters in Pleasantville that are developed effectively. And the cast is really great. Jeff Daniels, William H. Macy, Paul Walker, Joan Allen, they all perform really interesting characters that change significantly by the end of the film. That's one of the reasons I like this movie so much. Every character feels like they change. The vast majority of them for the better. They learn to embrace aspects of themselves they previously ignored, and most of them become more empathetic and just genuine because of it. There's so many subtexts you could read from this film on topics that range from socioeconomic status to gender to race to love to identity. There's a lot to be digested here, and it surprisingly works with as much as it tries to balance in one film. With that said, there's only one tiny nitpick I have with it, and it's the ending. I think there's a lot of ambiguity that works well in this film, but the way that it ends leaves me with too many questions. It feels final yet unresolved at the same time, which makes me wonder if maybe they were intending on a sequel at some point, but the film didn't do well financially, so it just never happened. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I do feel like there are questions that I kind of needed to be answered by the end of the film, and they aren't. That bothered me slightly, but it didn't detract majorly from my great experience with Pleasantville overall. And if you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend you check it out because it holds up really well for a 98 film, and it has such a unique identity that it makes it worth a watch. As for the pros/cons, for the pros, Pleasantville provides a lot thematically to digest. It uses color effectively for excellent visual intrigue. It has great characters and a great cast, and there's several characters who are compellingly developed. They have great maturation. As for the cons, I didn't love the ending. I think it's a little bit undercooked, but that may just be me. Pleasantville gets a 9.5 out of 10 from me, and I highly recommend you check it out if you like drama films that make you think a bit. If so, this one is a great choice. So have you guys seen Pleasantville yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. Please be on the lookout for more reviews from me in the future. I'm honestly not sure what is coming up next, so I'm just going to embrace that uncertainty and roll with it. That's one of the themes of Pleasantville, so it kind of seems fitting, I feel like. Either way, this is WillFoxification signing off. I'll see you in the next review.